Going Deep podcast, we've got Quinn Meinerz, Wisconsin Whitewater. He is projected to be a day one or day two pick in the draft in this week. I mean, we're taping this interview Wednesday morning. You're about to get a job. First off, welcome to the program. But second off, how excited are you to just be in this process?
Yeah, thank you for having me. And I'm extremely excited. You know, the journey that I've been on is, pretty, doesn't happen very often. So I'm extremely excited. The people keep asking me if I'm nervous or whatever. No, I'm just excited to find out where my home's going to be and, what team I'm going to be on.
Most guys coming from D3 schools, man, they kind of have one thing in common with other small school guys. They don't give a fuck, right? They've been at the bottom for a long time. They've learned to kind of do with what they have. Obviously, you've kicked ass on the Senior Bowl. A lot of people, you kind of have a buzz about you. What's one thing going into the draft that you're nervous about?
I think the biggest thing for me right now is getting into an offense and finding out what my expectations are, whether it be guard or center. Right. And then on top of that, also now learning an entire new playbook of their terminology and an NFL offense. There was bare bones stuff I learned at the Senior Bowl, and that's part of the Dolphins stuff. So there's a whole different playbook element. And with the way OTAs are going, I learned a lot through like doing and being at practice. And with that being more virtual, that adds another wrinkle for my learning process.
Quinn, which one do you prefer to play in the NFL? Center, guard? Don't care?
Overall, I really don't care. But I think, if I can get, if the center stuff you saw at the Senior Bowl, that's all self-taught. I'm a self-taught center. I've never had any like formal coaching of center. So I think, videos. So I think, if I get onto a team and, get some good coaching and learn through a veteran, I think center will be my position, in the NFL that I'll solidify as a starting job.
So what really changed? So for people that don't know, Quinn goes to Wisconsin Whitewater. It's a D3 school. Very seldomly do D3 guys get picked in the NFL draft. You got it. Your season was canceled this year due to the pandemic. There was no D3 football this year, but you secured an invite to the Senior Bowl. At the Senior Bowl, you dominated. You had a broken hand. You were playing center, which you hadn't played before. You played guard in college, and you won Offensive Lineman of the Week. What really changed? Like, how did you get to that level? Because dominating big-time competition at the Senior Bowl, which is a college all-star game, is way different, I assume, than the guys that you're playing, with Wisconsin Whitewater.
100%. And so the first thing I had to, in my journey, is I had to really change my body composition. The D3 diet isn't the greatest, So at the end of that 2019 season, I was 335 pounds. Throughout the playoffs, our meal plan is going to Golden Corral and eating Domino's pizza as our snack. So like you can only anticipate, that's the funding that we had, that I was going to gain weight eventually. But so that was the first thing I started was changing my body, leaning out the fat and building lean muscle. So that way, when I had my opportunity, I was ready for it. So you kind of saw the newest version of who Quinn Meinerz is at the Senior Bowl, and to be able to, kind of continuing my dominance, was just, I didn't really expect it. I was kind of going into the Senior Bowl saying, all right, I'm going to be fighting for my life every rep. Let's get it done.
I definitely know the anxiety you're feeling. I went to Hofstra, which was a D1 AA school, and I didn't go to the combine. I didn't go to the Senior Bowl. I didn't even go to All-Star game. I pretty much went on a bunch of visits. Went and had a couple private workouts, and I was blessed enough to get drafted in the 4th round. One of the things that I did notice, especially once I was able to get drafted and got to OTAs and kind of got mixing it up with the guys, is that you come to realize that they're just fucking football players. It doesn't matter, what school they went to. As long as they can bang and you can bang, it's still football at the end of the day. The one learning curve that I think I received, or it took me a while to learn, was that there's a difference between starters and bench players. Starters, they come to kick your ass every play. The bench guys, they're kind of learning as they go. You stepping into whatever organization or wherever you may go, man, Is there a part of you that feels like you got to come out the gate hot, that you got to punch somebody in the mouth right away? I mean, you were snapping footballs to garbage cans and eating Dominoes 3 weeks ago. Now you're going to go out there and you're going to be tussling with some guys who have a pretty good resume. Is there anxiety to go out there, man? Like, I just got to punch somebody in the mouth early to let them know I'm here to stay.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's you got to set the mentality early of like, who am I going to be as a rookie, first of all, and who am I going to be as a player? There's that, your first impression is a lasting impression. So when you show up to fall, the OTAs and the camp, you got to, show up like, hey, this kid's legit, and now that I have all the hype and stuff, that even adds more pressure to it. Who is this kid? Cause I'm sure a lot of people know of who I am. So the pressure is definitely like, cause people are going to want to test and see who I am. And I got to make sure I'm, being true to myself. And that'll take care of everything. So I am a physical player and I play physical every snap. So that's not going to be a problem for me.
I want to know about Quinn Meinerz outside of football, off the football field. What do you like to do? What are some of your hobbies? What are you into? You a gamer? Do you like listening to podcasts? What do you like to do, Quinn?
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a gamer. Haven't had a lot of time this last year pretty much, but I play this game on the computer called League of Legends. Not too bad it's a pretty solid game. Outside of that, I enjoy fishing a lot. It's just being outside. Actually, the morel mushroom, if you guys have heard of that, it's a mushroom that grows around here. And the season just kind of started, so they only grow in the wild, and they taste amazing. So I've been hunting for those a couple times. I'm gonna go turkey hunting this spring with one of my buddies.
How do you hunt the mushroom? The dogs out.
You just gotta you have to find dead elm trees, and then they usually grow around the dead elm tree. They grow on the roots and stuff. So that's kind of where they go. And it's kind of like a one of a kind mushroom. So you're not gonna pick the wrong one and get sick or whatever. So it's
is there a psychedelic effect to it?
No, no, not at all. But yeah,
Quinn,
those things.
You're talking to. I'm a Midwestern guy myself, like you. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. That's where I am. But Stephen and Willie, what you're talking about right now might as well be fucking Mars to them. They're two New York, New Jersey people. So that's why you're getting the looks that you're getting from them. They have no clue what the fuck's going on.
We can't find Iowa on the map. And that's
Literally.
So, I mean, we talked about this right before we went on air. You said you'd spoken to Ryan Jensen. Ryan Jensen was on this podcast a couple weeks ago, said he was going bear hunting in the offseason in Alaska. Do you think he'd be offended if he heard you use the term hunting when you're talking about mushrooms?
Probably. That's awesome. He's going bear hunting. That's so cool. That's awesome.
So wait, how does this work? Do you bring a knife? You just kind of walk up to the tree, carve it out, and then eat it?
So it's crazy. My friend that does it a lot got me into it. His name's Ryan Zern. He actually has a mushroom hunting stick that he has with him. It's custom made, and then the handle on the stick is actually one of the morel mushrooms. So he has it with him every time we go out. If he doesn't have it, we're not going to go look for the mushrooms. But no, so you grab them, and you don't even need a knife. You just you pinch them with your thumb and finger, and you leave a little bit of the stem because you could pick that spot multiple times.
Oh, it'll regenerate and grow back.
So it'll grow back. But no, the way to do it is you take all the mushrooms and you kind of soak them in water so that way they release all the dirt and if there's any bugs on it and stuff. And then you chop it up into little little pieces, put it into a bag of flour, and then saute it in a pan with butter. And you put that on burger. If you like mushrooms on your burgers or mushrooms and steak, it is the best mushroom. And they're actually really expensive. People try to hunt them to sell them, and I'm pretty sure you can sell them for $50 a pound. Ew. because they're only in the wild. You can't just grow them in your backyard. You have to just have the land and do it.
Interesting.
That's fucking wild. I don't know. Listen, I'll probably never do it, but it sounds fucking exciting, I guess. I guess I just
it's really
a fucking mushroom with a stick at the end of it or some shit like that.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I love walking through the woods, man. It's peaceful and it's you know, you and a couple buddies just walking through the woods. It's a lot of fun.
I want to pivot back to football, man. I always like to learn, like, who did guys model themselves after? Who was somebody that growing up, man? Who did you pay attention to? Who do you love watching growing up playing football?
Yeah, growing up when I was real little, I was a big Brett Favre fan. You know, the gunslinger coming from Wisconsin. And then, you know, once he retired, I really gravitated towards, you know, Tom Brady's story. Just, you know, the underdog story is something that, you know, a lot of guys can, you know, relate to, and I related to it a lot. As far as offensive line play, I really look up to Ryan Jensen. You know, he's someone I look to, you know, when I've been on this center journey to learn. So to me, to be in the room with him, that would be awesome to you know, just learn, you know, because he was a D2 right tackle, you know, on his journey. So just guys like that, you know, one of them, their story, and two, how they play.
Quinn, you scream Pittsburgh Steeler to me, man. I got the background of Heinz Field behind me. Willie's got his Super Bowl jerseys back there. Have you talked to Coach Tomlin? Have you had interaction with Pittsburgh? If so, how's that been?
I haven't had any like Zoom calls. I did meet with the Steelers at the Senior Bowl, and actually the offensive line coach was actually at my pro day in Whitewater, Wisconsin, and ran me through a couple of drills. I think they were trying to make me like pass out or something, because the tempo on those drills and the amount of distance I had to run was insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely see the reports and the rumors of you know, Pittsburgh Steelers are really interested. I know that they have a need for center, and you know, I'd love to snap the big med, man.
That's what I love to hear, baby.
Let's
Fired up.
He said he loved Tom Brady. He wants to snap the Big Ben. This guy's a fluffer. He's fucking stroking both your fucking egos.
I mean, he has no idea where he's going to end up. He could be in Pittsburgh. He could be in you know, the Seattle Seahawks. Like, who knows? But speaking of that,
yeah,
like,
I gotta be neutral as long as I can.
right.
Smart.
Speaking of that, so we're taping this Wednesday. The draft is, you know, starts Thursday, goes into Friday and Saturday. You've obviously, you know, at the Senior Bowl, you said met with the Steelers, and I'm sure you met with a bunch of teams, especially considering your performance there that week. What have been the teams that have shown the most interest in you so far?
Yeah, there's a couple teams. I definitely met with the Eagles the most. I've met with their scouts, their offense, the offensive line coach. I've had multiple meetings with the Falcons, and also I think the Panthers seem really interested as well. You know, I was able to kind of see them at the Senior Bowl, and then their offensive line coach also came to my pro day as well. So that's kind of how I've been engaging, is how many meetings and whether people showed up to the pro day or not. So that's kind of what it seems like. But you know, like everyone says, you know, you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
Well, you got another one, Joe? You good?
So let's go back to the Senior Bowl. Something that kind of made you stand out, and I'd love to know the thinking behind this, if you've always done this, is your belly. So you were going crop top and, you know, jersey rolled up for a majority of what I saw of you being out there, and it was nicknamed the Power Belly. So what was the reasoning behind this? Is this something you've always done, and are you going to continue to do this at the next level?
Yeah, this is something I've done since high school, since my sophomore year of high school, and that's where I originally got the nickname the Gut. So just a little bit of the backstory on it. So when I was a freshman in high school, I was like 5'10", 5'11", and like 180 pounds. You know, like not too big, not too small. And then my freshman to sophomore year, I put on 80 pounds and like 3-4 inches of height. So when I put on 80 pounds, you know, it wasn't all great weight. So I just had this kind of big, just keg in the front. So I got nicknamed the Gut, and during fall camp, you know, wherever you're at, you know, it's warm. So I was always rolling up the jersey. So I did that in high school. I did that at Whitewater, and also got the nickname the Gut at Whitewater. And so that was something that I did at the Senior Bowl, as just it was a piece that I've always done at practice, and it was something that helped me, you know, be confident and you know, just keep the train of thought of, you know, being who I am. So it was just such a natural thing, and for it to blow up like it did, like I didn't really think of it being a big deal. On the next level, I think I'll keep it with me as long as it isn't a distraction. I don't want to be a distraction coming in as a rookie.
It's becoming a trend. I've seen a lot of college guys kind of throw the gut out there, especially the big uglies, the offensive linemen. They kind of just let the fucking gut just spill out there. It's a very intimidating move. You got the other guy across you, you got a six pack, you got a gut, you still locking up. Nobody cares. I want to fast forward, man, on the personal side. How's the family taking it all in? Where are you going to be watching the draft? Where are you going to be?
I'm going to be at my dad's house in Hartford, Wisconsin, and just kind of keep it small with the group of people that have been with me since the beginning. So their reaction, I think it's like mine, where we all can't really understand what's happening because it's been such a wild ride, and I'm just really excited to celebrate that moment with everyone together.
Enjoy it, man. It's a beautiful experience, especially to be able to do it with your family, and just understand once your name gets called, they're looking to replace you. And that's how fucked the NFL is. So just stay focused, bro.
You mentioned dominoes earlier, Quinn. So I gotta ask. Gotta throw a hypothetical out there for you. F, marry, kill. Is it? Do I get that right?
Fuck it up all the time. It's
F. It's not. It's not fuck, kill, marry. It's fuck, marry, kill. Right?
Yeah,
marry. Okay. Fuck.
Fuck.
Fuck, marry, kill. F, marry, kill. Domino's, Papa John's, Pizza Hut. Your pizza places. Go.
All right, I'm killing Pizza Hut. I can't do a Pizza Hut.
Why the quick trigger on Pizza Hut? Too greasy?
He's a Wisconsin guy. It's probably like Hungry Howie's or something.
I don't know. I just like I don't like their sauce. I think I'm not sure if that's.
All right.
I don't know. Not a big Pizza Hut guy. I'd marry. What was the not Domino's? I'll fuck Domino's.
Papa John's.
Papa John's. I'll marry Papa John.
Oh, all right. Getting freaky with Domino's. I like it. Cool.
It's the size of the garlic butter they throw on with the pie. It gets everybody.
Yep.
So you mentioned you grew up in Wisconsin, in Hartford, Wisconsin. I can only assume you grew up a Packers fan. What's been your experience like with that organization? Have you gone to training camps and watch the kids ride the bikes and things like that? Or are you a regular at Lambeau? What's been your experience as a Wisconsinite?
Yeah, so like I said, I was Packers fan originally, and my entire family is Packers fan, and all my friends are. Well, half of them are now Chicago fans or Bears fans because the team at Whitewater is like half from Illinois and half from Wisconsin. The football team is, because they're really close to the border. I've been to Lambeau once, and that was when I was 2 years old, and I don't remember it at all. So I've actually never really remembered, being at an NFL stadium ever. So I really don't have that experience. But yeah, being a Wisconsinite, I love it. The things that that keep me grounded. Quick Trip and Culver's, great places. And so if I were to stay here, it would be awesome to stay with some familiarity of places and just to stay home.
They did just lose their first team All-Pro center, Corey Lindsley, so could be a potential match.
Could be, yeah.
I'm gonna jump out there and just say it. If you do land with the Bucks, are you gonna absolutely shit your pants when you see Tom Brady? Like, are you gonna be starstruck?
No, because we're colleagues now. I'm not a fan anymore. We're teammates, and now we're gonna go win a Super Bowl.
See, that's what's now you're making Stevie Trey has a boner over there.
So, I mean, we have a history on this podcast. So last year, the day before the draft, also, your awesome bookers on the line, got us Tristan Wirfs, and he was pretty certain he was going number 4 to the Giants. A guy also with a wrestling background, like yourself.
Back in field.
And he was like, the Giants have shown the most interest. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm going there, but you never know. Asked him kind of out there just because the Bucks were picking at 14 at the time, had a need at tackle. It was just like, oh, what would you think about blocking for Tom Brady? And he was just like, it would be incredible, but who knows what happens. He ends up falling a little bit. We trade up to 13 and pick him. But he said he would be like shocked. And we had him on a couple weeks ago. And he described the first time he met Tom Brady, called his mom and was all excited and stuff like that. So just because I am familiar with the Bucks, they do have an affinity for non-D1 guys. You mentioned Ryan Jensen, Ali Marpet, Alex Kappa, Aaron Stinney's a backup there. What have been your conversations with them? You said you talked to Ryan Jensen. What have been your conversations with the Bucks?
Yeah, so I met with the offensive line coach, and the classic meeting. They try to put you.
Al Goodwin.
That's my old coach.
Yeah, he's a great coach, and he was really trying to stump me in the interview, and that's how they've been this entire time. So that's why I'm excited to get onto a team and not have to keep going through all these interviews that are like trying to mind F me every time. But I learned a lot from him.
What does that look like, Quinn? What is an interview where they're trying to mind fuck an offensive lineman? Like, what if you can relay any of the information? Like, what kind of questions are they asking you where they're trying to trip you up?
Yeah, so like the first part, they kind of good cop you, and they ask like, how's your family, like how are you, and ask like the basic questions, and then they go, all right, we're gonna get into football, and then they quickly install 1 or 2 run plays and 1 or 2 pass plays, and then they tell you how their identification system works, how they call their double teams, and then they install it as quickly as possible. You're writing down notes as quickly as you can, and then they pull up film, and then they're like, all right, now explain everything I just taught you. And even the harder ones are they take a break, and then they ask you more questions and then rally back to it to see what you remembered. So those are some of the harder ones. The hardest one that I've ever had was I'm taking all these notes in my notebook, and then one of the coaches goes, all right, so did you take notes? And I was like, yeah. He goes, all right, now hold up your notebook. So I hold up my notebook, and then he goes, all right, now throw it. So I had to throw it like across the room and then do the same thing without any notes.
What team? Can you say?
I don't think I can say, but it's been a couple teams, and I think they all kind of found out that was like the way to really try to mess with us.
It's all shit. It's all shit. You're gonna walk in there and you're gonna get your little tablet, and then everything's gonna be elementary. Some of the shit you already know. It's all about verbiage. It's all about just processing. You're gonna have time to learn it. So it's all shit. It was just them trying to rattle your cage.
There have been reports. Logan Stenberg we had on the program last year, actually at the Senior Bowl, guard out of Kentucky, who plays for the Lions now, and he was saying that one of the teams he was an offensive line, brought their offensive line coach out and had a staring contest with him, and just like timed it. And it was incredibly awkward. He's like, I met this guy 5 minutes ago, staring at him in the eyes for over a minute. Very uncomfortable. Have there been any specific like uncomfortable things like that, or maybe like an arm wrestling contest or anything like that things that have been out there?
There's only been one kind of weird thing, and so I was getting ready for a meeting. It was with the offensive line coach of the Packers, and we're getting ready for the meeting, asking hey, how are you doing? And then he just looks up and goes, you got a joke for me? And my mind was like in like game mode, like let's go, like this is a meeting. So it threw me off, and I was like scrambling through my brain, and I did not have a joke ready for him. And I was like, yeah, I don't have a joke for you, man. Like I was just like so serious, because like the 5 minutes before the meeting starts, like I'm so anxious just to like get ready and get moving into the interview. But yeah, that was definitely a tough question.
Did you play rock, paper, scissors with the Eagles?
I wish I didn't. That's a story?
Yeah. Nick Sirianni, their head coach, said that he's been playing rock, paper, scissors with guys to see how competitive they are. So I didn't know if maybe you got in on that.
That would be awesome.
What is it like? So, I mean, you played D3 football. You're probably going to be a day 1 or day 2 pick in the NFL. I imagine you're just dumping guys left and right. What is it like to be kind of a big fish in like a smaller pond as far as D3 football?
Yeah, it was, I really was just pretty dominant, like just every single play. Like it was like, I'd go over here, serve up the defensive tackle on a silver platter for my left tackle, go up to the linebacker, dump him off, and then, keep climbing, and that was I didn't have very many options to go play anywhere. So I just made the best of the opportunity that I had at Whitewater. But I think that just shows how hard I work, is just to continue that dominance.
And then, Willie, you might be able to take this one, but Quinn played offensive line at the Senior Bowl with a broken hand. Have you ever done anything like that, or had any type of injury where you're able to play through that? And then, Quinn, what was that like for you?
You talking to me or Quinn?
Yeah, Willie, I'll start with you.
Oh, yeah. I played with a torn tricep for 2 quarters. So I did that. And that was against Baltimore. But that was I actually thought I just had a cramp in my fucking tricep, and it rolled up in my arm like a sushi roll, and I didn't even know. Ooh. But broken hand is, listen, when playing football, especially at this level, and you're going to be an offensive lineman, stories like that is a bell. It rings off to organizations, because a lot of times when you're going through a season, man, you're gonna go through some injuries that flat out probably would sit most athletes down. Like I played with a hematoma on my tailbone. It was fractured. I played with a torn tricep. I've played with partially like small torn pec. I've done all type of crazy shit, cracked ribs. You're gonna have to do that, and a lot of times, and as you know, this is why small school guys last longer in the NFL, because we understand opportunities come very short to us. We understand that injuries, I was taught this as a Steeler. There's a difference between being hurt and injured. If you're hurt, you can still do your job. If you're injured, that means something snapped off your body and you just can't play, right? Even though I was injured at times, I still didn't feel it, because it's a mentality, right? Like you still got to understand the job's ahead of you. There's a task to get done. You can always fix it. You can always get it fixed somewhere in the offseason. Now, unless you're hurting yourself in the team and on the field, that's a different story. So all that shit, I'm pretty sure you know. My last question for you is, going into this draft, man, and probably taking in all this process, is there anything you regret? Anything you think, man, I could have did better? Is there anything I could have, probably talked about or put myself out there, put myself in a better position?
Yeah, I think there were a couple times at the Senior Bowl where, I was just there was so much information that I was kind of getting swamped with, and I kind of let it overwhelm me just a little bit. And there's some of those plays where I'm going the wrong way, calling out the wrong thing. And if I were to like really clean up those things and just be a more consistent and clean center, I think I could, be one of those arguably, the number one center. To be able to climb where I did is awesome. And to piggyback off of the injury thing, I don't think a lot of people, I think offensive linemen in general are always playing hurt, and you have to. That's just the nature of the job, man. You have to. And that was why it was like, I don't care that your hand is broken. Like, you have to play. Like you're saying, you're playing with a torn tricep. Like that, those guys are doing that week in, week out. Yeah. So that's one, the mentality of offensive line, and two, the mentality of small school guys of like, hey, like, this is a crazy opportunity. I'm going to go until I can't. So 100%. I agree.
Awesome.
Quinn, last one from me. We've talked a lot about how you're a D3 guy going to the NFL. Do you feel kind of like a responsibility in a way that you're representing for all the future D3 guys, the small school guys out there, to make it, to the big time?
Yeah, there's definitely that added, like, not only am I, carrying, Whitewater football and the Warhawks, I'm also carrying, Division III football. And, I'm that next guy that, has climbed through the draft process from D3. And I think it's becoming, it's happening more often, with, how high Alan Marpet got drafted, and I'm hoping to maybe, beat that record. Ben Barch, a guy that I played with last year, got drafted in the 4th round, Division III as well. And, to now continue that thing is really cool. And, I want to be a resource to other small school guys that come through. I think that's been the coolest thing of this process, is how many small school offensive linemen, that message me on Instagram that are asking for advice, or that I'm an inspiration to them. It's really cool.
That's awesome. Love that.
Awesome. Quinn, I'll get you out of here on this. And you've been very generous with your time, so thank you. So we're, again, 2 days out of when you're going to have a new job. Best guess at this moment, where are you living next year?
Best guess, Miami.
Yeah.
That's where I'm putting. That's where I'm putting my bet. You know, I think the Dolphins might pick me up. So.
Okay. All right. We'd love to see it. They have 2 picks in the first round. They've got a pick very early on day 2. Looking forward to seeing where you end up. If it's Miami, best of luck. But Quinn, you've been awesome in this process. Thank you so much. You've been described as a glass eater, which is awesome. You always love to have those guys. Quinn Meinerz, looking forward to seeing you in the job in the next couple days.
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a good day.
Best of luck, brother. Kick ass now.